Jim Jones and Conway the Machine need Drake back bad.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Drake that nigga, man. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't
So
be.
you gotta watch. I know, bro, but this is where
Prime in the locker room.
This is where we at. Society got what they want, and this is where we at. We had a dry spell right now.
But
you heard?
Kendrick,
he put
Kendrick
on.
understood the assignment.
Yeah,
that's
he
all
did.
I'm saying.
He did.
You, bro.
But Kendrick was
Super Bowl.
But yeah, that's cool.
All of that shit, bro.
But now when we go outside, there's no vibe. Kendrick never provided the vibe inside the spots that we at every night.
Yeah, but
he does what he does for the hip hop culture, and yes, he's a god, and nobody can fuck with him on the level of rap. That's what they was going Drake back and forth. But he ain't the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to. Now, put the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to, and he decides to stay inside. No. And he's so rich that he don't have to come outside ever again and just look and laugh at the game because he's up a Billy. And now we might be missing a vibe for a long time, because who's the next person that's gonna come provide the vibe?
We'll never get another person.
This is what I'm trying to say, bro.
He's that.
You heard?
What's up, words? Your boy Challz Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join that membership, and all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. So let me tell you a little something about this YouTube game that I have found myself in. Sometimes we oversell. I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes we'll take a little and make it into a lot, gang. But I promise you, this time is special. This time, this particular video, gang, a salute to my guy, your boy EQ, for bringing this to my attention. He always bringing us very, very good info on this particular topic, which is the Kendrick Drake battle. I watched his video, but I was like, bro, I need to watch this interview myself. Let me just say this first and foremost. Jim Jones did a very quality interview. Jim Jones is in a good space with these interviews, just like Fat Joe. He resurrected himself. He turned a lot of that hate around, and he's doing what needs to be done in this YouTube or podcaster space, like we like to call it, with this situation. But what's going on right now? Jim Jones has a new show. He has several new podcasts, and one of them is called Artist to Artist, and like I said, he's doing good work over there. Salute to Jim Jones. So I'm trying to be kinder and gentler, so I'm not going to be as I might not be as visceral as I normally am with this one, because I'm trying to be better, gang. I'm trying to be a better person going into 2026, but I still got to be me. And when I say all that, I say this video, like I said, it's a quality video. It's a good interview, right? Conway is very well spoken. They get into a lot of things. It's a very interesting interview. It's about an hour or so. And before this question about Drake and Kendrick battle, which gang is contrived, I'm going to be honest, Jim Jones had absolutely no reason to stick this in there. I'm just going to keep it a buck. This is one of the most, this is like an ad placement, gang. It really is 40, what is it? 48 minutes into the interview, for no reason, he asked him about the Drake-Kendrick battle, which is over. That is over a year and a half ago, almost. We're going on almost 2 years with this battle. It's coming up in a few months. It's going to be 2 years. For Jim Jones to bring that up in an interview with Conway the Machine, who has nothing to do with the Kendrick-Drake beef, absolutely nothing. To bring it up is almost clickbait, gang. But he somehow, some way stuck that in there. And like I said, I am not exaggerating you. I'm not blowing this out of proportion. Conway and Jim Jones are giddy gumdrops. They going on and on and on about Drake. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play the clip in its entirety, because I got to react to this in real time. It's too much. It's too much to just leave it to chance that you guys might hear it, right? I need you to hear this because, first of all, I'm doing a top 25 albums of the year, and Conway does make that list, top 25 albums of the year, right? What's the name of his joint? You something about bullets and God, something, da-da-da. Dope record, right? But end of the day, that's not the story here. That is not the story here, because, like I said, the interview is great, but when they get to this part, all of their guards come down, gang. All the shields drop. All of the protective coating, they drop it all, and they start going giddy gumdrops about Drake. How Drake was that nigga. He need to be back outside. Kendrick ain't outside. Gang, it's the whole trope that they've been running with for the past. I don't know what this protective glazing is shooting all around the internet over Drake. They're trying to convince us that Drake hasn't dropped nothing since the battle and he just disappeared, right? But you got to hear this to believe it, gang. I'm not overhyping this, gang. When you hear this conversation, they get more and more excited about the prospects of Drake coming back outside, which they don't know that this guy been outside. Okay, gang. This is the narrative that it's a lot of good money being spent on this narrative, gang. That Drake fell back to let us all wallow in our own discontent because when he fall back, the game fall back, right? Remember that narrative? I keep bringing this up because it's so insane. The narrative was about 3-4 years ago that Drake was considering going independent. And if Drake was to walk away from the majors, the entire music industry would collapse. You remember that rumor? Look it up. It was a rumor that Drake was worth like $600 million. And if he walked away from the game, half the people would lose their jobs and the whole industry would collapse. It's the most insane, ridiculous shit ever. But that's what they're trying to bring that back now. That the Billboard is down and all this stuff. Real rap is back, gang, and it don't belong on the Billboard. We don't make contrived bullshit to get number 1, number 2 on the Billboard. We make real shit for the real people that really want to hear, whether they're streets or not, that really want to hear this real music. So that's what's coming back. Real quality artwork, art form, right? And people they're still getting it at a high level. These guys are still making a lot of money. A lot of guys are still independent and doing what they do. They're touring and this, that, and the third, which Conway speaks about in this interview. It's a very good interview. He talks about how he goes overseas, gets a lot of money, a lot of love. He goes all over the map. He sells more. He says he sells more vinyl and cassettes than he does streams. He says he does better in that market. So I don't know what we're talking about, right? With this rap is dying, this, that, and the third. These guys are flourishing, right? I just told you, he's selling vinyls at $125, gang. So these guys are doing all right, right? Those are the signed ones, this, that, and the third, whatever. What I'm saying is these guys are okay, okay? So all this hip-hop is dying is hogwash, right? End of the day, they want to paint this narrative that his hip-hop is dying because Drake took his ball and went home and he fell back and now it's stuck with Kendrick, right? Who never comes outside, right? This is the whole narrative, and I'm telling you, gang, I'm not overhyping this. I'm going to play this because it's like these guys. I don't know, man. This is what I've been thinking about, and I think I'm gonna chalk this up, right? Street dudes take stuff. I think street dudes. And I'm in that ilk to a degree, but I've always been more of a thinker, and I'll look deeper at things. But straight up street dudes, they ain't got time for the details, right? They just like, whose song is down the radio? Oh, that's Drake. Drake popping. Boom, that's it. They don't do no more details, and they don't fine tooth comb this shit or whatever. So street dudes for the last 10 years have been saying Drake is that dude because he keeps having these records. They don't care how they got popping. They just care. When they go to the strip club, they go to the nightclub, they go to the hookah lounge, they go wherever. Who's coming on? Drake. It's a Drake record here, Drake record there. Drake got a feature with Future. Drake got a feature over here. Da, da. Everybody that's popping does a feature with him. Migos. Da, da, da. So it seems like this is the guy. So what they are doing is what most of these street dudes do is they're like, Drake is that guy until he ain't. So at this point, they're looking at it like he's the guy. So if everything slows down, then it must be because he slowed it down, right? So they're looking at it like he got his finger on the pulse. He can just drop in, pop out at any time he wants because he controls the game. Because when they go to the strip club, guess who? He got 8 out of the 9 records, right? So it's in street math, right? So at the end of the day, this whole thing is like two street guys who have not been really paying attention as close as they think. Because they seem to think that Drake hasn't dropped nothing, and that's by design. Meanwhile, Drake dropped damn near 40 records, gang, and he dropped some Sexy Songs for You album. I don't know if they forgot about that, okay? So in this conversation, I'm just giving you a heads up what's going on. This is two dudes. Salute to Conway. I like Conway. I ain't got no problem with Jim Jones. Just don't talk about Nas no more. Other than that, I don't got no problem with Jim Jones either, right? But these are two dudes that are sitting there, they powwowing about the time it was good, right? When Drake was around, when Drake was outside, everything was lit, everybody was popping bottles. I told you, what's these dudes, the two dudes over there on the other side, Bag Few, they said the same thing. It's a street level mentality that all of this popping bottles, all of these chicks shaking and wiggling and doing all this shit only happens because Drake comes around. This is a pervasive mentality. I don't know where it came from, but it feels like it has to be a street theme for some reason because they keep repeating it. It's like an OG street thing, like old heads, right? I don't hear the young dudes saying this, but a lot of old dudes like, yo, when Drake was out, yo, the whores was out, the bottles was popping. So this is a narrative that's been pervasive. And when you go on X, like AKA Twitter, I told you, they first of all, that's a lot of paid accounts. We just saw the whole exposure of all the European and foreign accounts and everybody from here, there, and everywhere. One of these accounts from Saudi Arabia, another one's from Nigeria. So these accounts are all over the place. They get paid, they get funneled money, right? I told you these OVO Zoom calls, they know who to pay. So they pay these guys in 24/7. They got posts all day, all night about the game is suffering because Drake is gone, this, that, and the third. If they're not talking about that, then they dissing Kendrick for this, that, and the third. So there's a lot of money being spread around to have these narratives to try to make them stick. They're trying to drop this Iceman thing, and they need everything laid out, right? Peanut butter and jelly. They need the whole shit. They need all the peanut butter, all the jelly. They need the sandwich right. So, end of the day, what we're looking at is a guy that's trying to make a narrative, and he got these old heads, right? That low-key really just like Drake. I'm just going to be honest. You're going to hear in this conversation, and I know whoever want to timestamp this and say, this is video starts here, then timestamp this because I'm about to go. But end of the day, Conway really, really want Drake to win that battle. He wanted him to really just rap. He has to admit, he's a spitter. He goes in the interview and says Eminem is one of his favorite rappers. He says, your favorite 3 rapper. He names Eminem, I believe he said DMX and somebody else, right? So this guy knows rapping, gang. He knows rapping and he doesn't tell lies. So what I'm saying in regard to how he feels about bars, this, and the third. So he's looking at it like he wanted Drake to just rap and he has to admit that he didn't. He said the favorite song of his was Drake's record, right? But he knows that Kendrick out-rapped him. So at this point, Conway is admitting defeat, but he also says, I wish I was there. I wish I was in his camp. It sounds kind of scary to me, like he would have wrote some shit for him. I'm just going to be honest. Now, I'm not going to say that that's what he's saying, but it sounds like I wish I was there. I would have told him to rap, da-da-da-da. Sound like he would have did a lot more coaching than that. He said, I'm Coach K, right? End of the day, right? No, he said Coach Dion, Coach Prime. So end of the day, I'm going to play this out loud. I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to sip my water from my Charlie Brown cup, and we're going to have a conversation because at the end of the day, I feel like these two dudes, low-key, really, really are missing Drake for some reason, and they feel like the game ain't never going to be the same. They feel like they're actually saying in no uncertain terms that pretty much Drake can't even put the album out because he's so stunned by this battle, and he don't need to because he's so rich. So let's have this I want to play this, and we're going to have this conversation. I'm going to periodically stop it, all right? But here we go.
I'm definitely thankful for that. Who do you think got the best of the battle between Drake and Kendrick? And I'm talking about not from the commercial and media side. I'm talking about from the rap side.
Let me just stop this right here. We're 48 minutes in. They have no reason to talk about Drake and Kendrick battle. He stuck this in there because he's getting smart, gang. He understands. I need these podcasts. And the podcasts are doing well. So it's not that, but these guys need them to do more well. So you stick that question in there, gang. It's like a get out of jail free card. You're gonna drum up these views just by the controversy. Let me continue.
I ain't gonna lie. I think Kendrick got the best of him. I do. My favorite of the battle was that one Drake shit though was definitely my favorite of the battle. But just all things in its totality, it was like
all things in totality. But
I wish I could have hit Drake. I wish I could. I'm like, man, nigga, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Step. You know what I'm saying?
See, Conway knows what Drake did in the battle wasn't it. He knows it was weak. He's going to say later that it was more, he was trying to party vibe. But you got to understand, he won the first battle with a party record. Back to back is a party record. It slaps hard as shit. I've been at a couple parties and I seen the whole party start jumping up saying that record rhyme for rhyme. So you can say whatever you want to say, but that back to back record, I've been to some parties, the whole place went up. And they knew every single line of that record. So we can act like whatever, but he won with a party record. So he's like, I just could do that again. That's my lane. Make a party anthem. It didn't work this time. I honestly think it was too many beat switches in Family Man. It's just too much going on for them records to be party records. Let me continue.
I mean, I'm gonna still go with Drake. Kendrick is dangerous, but I think the way everything happened was whatever.
And Jimmy, let's just say this about Jim Jones. He really came in with an agenda because he wants to talk about this. He did what Vlad does. When Vlad wants you to say, when he has something he really want to say, he'll ask the guest, right? What do you think about Nas beat picking, the beats Nas picks? Well, I think that he won't even let the guest. Jim, this guy barely got out an answer. And everybody's praising Jim for not cutting him off throughout this interview, but In this section, he really cut him off a lot. Conway couldn't get half his answers out because Jimmy really had an agenda. He wanted to say this. He really wanted to say he ain't outside now. Look at what happened. The media got the battle off, but he ain't outside. He really is. If you go watch it, you'll see that Jim really feels strongly about this, but he remembers the shit that he got in with Nas. So he's coming in with a kinder, softer tone, right? He's trying to keep this mellow, but he really strongly pushing what he want to say. Let me continue.
I want to ask you that question just because.
Man, Kendrick stepped, bro. Kendrick stepped.
Can't take nothing away from him, but
Drake was stepping too, but I feel like
Drake is a stepper, man.
I wish I was with Drake, bro.
I think I can't say
I would have never.
I can't.
I'm trying to get the party lit. Nah, nigga, I'm trying to.
See, they can't even get it out fast enough. They want to defend Drake so bad they can't even get it out. They stumbling over each other's words because Conway wants to say, I wish he would have went harder with the battle. He shouldn't have tried to party him. And Jim want to interject that neither one of them won because all of us lost because we ain't getting no music. And he goes on to say that we don't listen to the battle rap music. That was good. That wasn't good for anybody. That's what he's trying to say. Let him say it.
I'm stepping.
I
ain't trying to get the party
I would
lit.
say
I'm
this.
stepping.
That battle has put a dent in the hip hop culture, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because
we ain't seen a battle on a mainstream level like that probably ever.
okay, so people.
Well, yes and no. When Jay-Z battled Nas, that was a very mainstream battle. Believe it or not, that thing was on MTV, gang. They were doing updates on MTV News. At one point, MTV News was the epitome of pop. Okay, you could have Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and whoever else, and then they're talking about Jay-Z and Nas battle. So that was a mainstream battle, believe it or not, because at one point Nas used to get videos played on MTV as much as Jay-Z. The Hate Me Now video with him and Puffy, right? Puff Daddy at the time. That video was premiered on MTV, right? And it got them a lot of trouble with Christians because they had the blasphemous themes in there when I believe it was Nas or Diddy. I think they had thorns on their head, and they were just depictions of religious ideologies and things of that nature. So they got in trouble with that. But for the end, but for people that don't understand this battle, you would wake up in the morning, turn on the radio, and they would be talking about the new development in the Jay-Z Nas battle. Right, all the radio stations played Ether when it dropped, so it was mainstream. I know it don't seem like it now, but that battle was massive. So I understand what he's saying now. This is big. This is the biggest, but the world hasn't been this connected since ever with this internet, this, that, and the third. And Drake is the biggest artist on earth. So this is like Michael Jackson battling somebody. So I understand what he's saying, but let's not get it effed up. That Drake and Nas battle was pretty big. Let me continue.
People or the media got what they always want, was two powerful people going up against each other, and somebody got to be the winner, somebody got to be the loser. Now, the aftershock of that is now, none of these dudes that were battling are putting out any music right now. We haven't heard no music from none of them in how long? And this is the music that we really been listening to for the past 10 years straight was Drake.
So right there, he's saying we've been listening to Drake for 10 years, and since the battle, nobody has dropped nothing. This is what Jim Jones is trying to get us to believe. Now, he's either willfully ignorant or he really don't know that Drake put out 30, 40 songs. And yes, gang, we're counting all them songs with Cabrera or whatever her name is. And I always say this, the Mexican Cartel and all these other people. He's dropped a lot of records, gang. He gave 100 gigs upon your head top. He got Which One and all this. And what did I miss? I don't know if that stuff. And I've heard DJs, they have picked them records up. Believe it or not, I've gone places and the DJ is playing those records. Now, is it like it used to be? No. You got to understand what you're talking about. Like, what did I miss? Not going to be a strip club record. It's a record, but it's not going to be. I don't know how many chicks coming out dancing to that, right? I'm sure somebody is, but end of the day, it ain't that many. Right? Which one might pop da-da-da, and Nokia might get you some da-da-da, but it's divided right now, and a lot of people are picking sides with that, right? And we don't measure everything by what's based on the strip club, and everything that's pop, it ain't really popping in the pop lane either, right? They're doing a lot of forcing for these records because they're not as good as they used to be. Let's just be honest. They're not. Records can't be just because a person's name is on it. They actually gotta be kind of good to a degree, right? So when you really think about Drake's biggest records, whether you want to say it or not, those were good records. right? They were popular records because people liked them. They danced to them. They put them on in their cookout. They put them on in the shower. People actually liked the records. They liked the artists at the time, so they liked the records. That's why the records were so big. So the records gotta be kind of good. Okay, gang? I'm just trying to show you that it ain't the name recognition. This guy has dropped 30, 40 joints. He's done a lot of features. He's dropped a lot of music, right? So end of the day, Jim is saying for the past 10 years, it's been this guy. He's made a lot of music, but it's a lot of tactics and things going on to make them records stick. Let me continue.
Which Drake had the tempo of this motherfucking knocking, and there's a lot of that missing and shit like that from
I ain't gonna
the
I would love. I need.
How is it missing? No one has stopped making music. It ain't just cause this guy ain't making. Even back in my day, like let's just imagine. There is no one person moving the entire needle of rap. Never. It's never been one. I know Jay-Z says, I held it down 10 summers. Yeah, Jay-Z dropped a record, dropped a song, 2 songs, did a remix, did some features, and that was it. Guess what? The radio station's on 24 hours a day. You think they're playing one guy all day? No. So it was never one guy. You're talking about music as a whole, hip-hop as a whole. There's a whole movement out there. There's a lot of massive underground, not even underground. The R&B scene right now, if you really tap into R&B, these guys are making huge records, and they're not even famous. I'll go on a playlist, go on a YouTube playlist, right? And start listening to R&B and just let it ride. And you'll see these new people. It's a lot of new R&B singers. Their videos doing 5.8 million, 9.9 million. They're really pushing music, gang. It's a lot of music out there that people, if you're not plugged into YouTube, if you're waiting on the radio to play it, then you're going to die slow, right? Like Drake told Ebro, die slow, pussy. You're going to die slow. If you go online, it's a whole movement. It's a whole lot of music. There's a lot of R&B. There's a lot of rap moving that nobody has ain't no gatekeeping this. These kids are rocking, gang. So end of the day, it's music out there. But he wants us to believe since this guy music ain't popping, then all of music is shut down. First of all, what you want to hear is out there. That's the first things first. That's out there. But at the end of the day, it was never just about one person putting it on. It was a whole community of musicians, rappers included, making a lot of good music. Now they're doing a lot of formulaic stuff. They're doing a lot of repetitive stuff. It's a lot of drill shit, which only had the shelf life on drill. Got 2 days. Like a song, they make the song in 2 hours. The shit, 1 hour, song is done. They put it out 2 days later, the song old. So that drill shit don't have no play value. Trap is getting old, it's getting repetitive, and the whole Atlanta scene is getting divided. They're trying to F the streets, this and that and third, but they haven't figured it out. They haven't changed their style. They haven't reinvented themselves. Just so you know, Atlanta, where Outkast was running things, they would reinvent themselves, right? Outkast would come out, 1 week they aliens, next thing they spaceship them, and then the next week they back in the 20s doing stuff from freaking down south in the woods, right? They're selling moonshine, right? So at the end of the day, these guys aren't creative anymore. So you're trying to say all of this is because one man lost a battle. No, these guys aren't thinking outside the box. They're not getting better. They're trying to recreate stuff that's already old. They're not moving with the times. That's why we're having issues with this music being what it is. Let me continue.
Need some more Drake music.
This is what I'm
Drake,
trying to say.
Drake,
You
that
did?
nigga, man. That's what I'm saying.
I gotta play this again. Hold on.
From
I ain't gonna
the
lie, I would
airwaves.
love. I need some more Drake music.
This is what
So right there, Conway, and let me just say this, Conway has the right to say whatever he want to say, but he said, I ain't gonna lie, I need some more Drake music. It's Drake music out there, gang. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm gonna let you know, Conway, it's Drake music out there. Did y'all dudes run up which one? Did y'all run up Nokia? Like, did y'all run up, what did I miss? Like, it's Drake music out there. There's a lot of stuff that he's playing, that he's put out that you guys could be playing, right? I think one of them records went to number 2, and that was it. I think they got No Kid to number 2, nothing else. All of them songs that was dropping, they was done, gang. What's different now than it was 2 years ago? Tell me about it, because there's been a lot of music release. There's been a lot of music released. Did you go play Smiley and Drake? Did you play that? Like, it's a whole lot of music coming out, gang, by this guy. This guy's doing features all over the place, right? Gwandalila and all this shit. So I don't know what we talking about. Let me continue.
I'm trying to say.
Drake,
You
that
did?
nigga, man. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't.
So
be,
you
I wanna
gotta
pull
watch.
up on a
You,
Drake.
I know,
You
bro,
know,
but this is
Coach
where
Prime in the locker room.
this is where we
Drake,
at.
you that nigga,
Society
bro.
got
Step.
the society got what they want.
Conway's so frustrated. He like, Drake, you that nigga, stop, man. He really wants this because he's passionate, and I get it. It's okay to like Drake, right? It's okay to like who you want to like, but he's so animated and agitated about it because no one saw this outcome. that this guy would lose this battle so bad and become this lame after the battle's over. It's nobody's fault. This was meant to be. It was destiny. Gang, he was always going to lose this battle. I keep telling you, like Doctor Strange, when he was in Avengers Endgame and he did millions of scenarios of how they could beat Thanos, and it kept coming back that they couldn't. Right? None of the scenarios, they could never beat him. So he had to come. It was one scenario. I'll give him all of the rings. That's the only way. So he had to win. He had to lose. It was no way he was going to win this battle ever in any scenario. And Conway realizes that, and it's like, damn, just step. He thinking that if Drake would have came harder, there was no way that he came as hard as he could, gang. He did his best. Like you saw what he's a corporate brand, gang. He can only say but so much. That's why he ended the battle with Pusha T early, because he could only say but so much. They're looking at the cause and effects. They're looking at the losses and gains. They're like, yo, we might gain a win of this battle if you say all this crazy shit, but you're gonna lose a whole lot more in sponsorships and this, that, and the third if you go too low. Pusha T was ready to go low. This guy was laughing like, man, it's gonna be a surgical summer. Like, you could play with me if you want, dude. I sit here for 3 days and write on your ass. So Pusha T was willing to say whatever. Kendrick is willing to say whatever. Drake is not. So Conway is like, yo, step, bro, step. He's not going to talk all that reckless shit. First of all, it ain't in him. Second of all, even if he talk all that reckless shit, it's going to get back in his face, because then this guy going to come right back with even worse shit. So it was a lose-lose situation. He's not ready to go that far in these battles. But Conway's like, step, and he can't.
And this is where we at. We had a dry spell right now. You heard?
Kendrick understood the assignment.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. He did.
He did.
You, bro.
But Kendrick was
Conway like hard bars.
All of that shit, bro.
But now when we go outside, there's no vibe. Kendrick never provided the vibe inside the spots that we at every night.
Yeah, but
he does what he does for the hip hop culture, and yes, he's a god, and nobody can fuck with him on the level of rap. That's what they was going Drake back and forth. But he ain't the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to.
Now let me just say this, gang. And I told you I'm being better. I'm gonna be better. But this is young nigga talk, gang. Let's just be honest. What grown man's talking about? What vibe we go outside every night? When we go to places. This is the music we want to hear. Da 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 da. First of all, Kendrick got a lot of big records too, gang. And I guarantee you, all them same places, you could put TV off and all that shit on. Not saying that that's what niggas want to party to, but what I'm saying is this: Kendrick got records that's going. I've seen it. I've seen them put them Kendrick records on. That's West Coast driven and this, that, and the third, and they still popping in these venues, right? So at the end of the day, what it sound like is, and no, he doesn't make records for that. What you're talking about, he's talking about going to strip clubs, going to lounges, and standing on the seat cushions and this, that, and the third, popping bottles and the vibe in the air, da da da. There's a whole bunch of Atlanta artists just dropped a whole bunch of records. Didn't Young Thug just drop? Didn't 21 Savage just drop? There's a whole lot of artists doing that vibe shit that you're looking for, right? So I don't understand what's going on. There's a lot of guys that are mini Drakes that do the same shit. So I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm sure the clubs ain't closed down. Is the club open tonight? Like, let me know. Like, are all the clubs closed until Drake come back out? They have other shit to play, gang. So they're trying to make this narrative that these clubs are shut down till this guy comes back out. And it's bullshit. It's a false, fake narrative. The clubs are open right now. I can go right now. Legs and eggs, right? Listen, it's not that simple. What are you trying to make it like, yo, the sound was better. Kendrick ain't outside. Kendrick don't make the vibe. First of all, why do you keep blaming this shit on Kendrick? He don't got to make the vibe for your strip clubs. He don't got to make the vibe for your birthday nights, this and the third. It's a whole lot of other music out there. Neither one of them. So the narrative that the whole shit is shut down because this guy ain't outside is ridiculous, gang. It's so many artists making music that you want to hear when you go to these places. The places are still open. It ain't making no sense.
Now, yo, put the guy that provides the vibe that we go outside to, and he decides to stay inside. No. And he's so rich that he don't have to come outside ever again and just look and laugh at the game because he's up a Billy. And now we might be missing a vibe for a long time.
I told you, gang, that this is not hyperbolic. I didn't make this shit up that these guys started bugging out. This guy Jim Jones is cooking out of his mind right now. He's scrambled eggs right now, gang, because he's talking about this guy's so up. He just laughing at the game. He don't got to make no music. I don't know who is out here chasing, going crazy that this guy ain't making no music. And I don't know who fault it is in any scenario that he's not making no music. In this scenario, it sounds like what he's saying is after the battle, the guy just fell back because he's so rich. He just laughing at everybody that can't dance at the parties no more because the parties all shut down. It ain't making no sense, gang. Right? It ain't making no sense. And for a guy so rich, he got a lot of odd jobs. This motherfucker on Stake, he on Kick, he doing a whole lot of shit. He's streaming this, that, and the third. So him to be so fucking rich, he online gambling all day and night. Listen, Okay, so what we talking about? I don't understand. He did a lawsuit talking about they hurt my brand. Right? You do understand what the lawsuit was about, right, Jim Jones? He was basically saying they let Kendrick hurt my brand and they hurt me economically and financially. That's why he made the lawsuit. I don't know if you understand that. So the simple fact of the matter, he was supposed to be getting destroyed, and his bargaining chip value was supposed to be knocked down a peg because the wicked what's this guy Lucian Grange sat down with. This was the narrative got crazy that he sat Kendrick down and made him say the things that he said and not like us, and he made him call him PDF, and that was in turn hurt his brand out in the world, and that in turn hurt his bargaining power, and that in turn was defamation because he's not a pedo, right? So all of this stuff was based on money. Right? The $400 million deal he's allegedly had on the table from UMG, but he had a side deal for Sony from $500 million, which apparently, for whatever reason, he didn't take. He paid back the $400 million, so he wanted another one. So, okay, I'm going to get another deal, but he wanted more, right? They're talking about Drake wants $1 billion this time. Well, he was never going to get no $1 billion. That's just silly. That's internet talk. But end of the day, he wanted another, quote unquote, a glorified loan from UMG. Right? He supposedly paid the $400 million back in record time and wanted another loan. Well, I don't understand. To me, why would you want another loan when you paid that one back? Right? You want to go back to the quick cash and get another loan real quick when you could just go ahead and make that money yourself. If you made $400 million for them, you can make $400 million for yourself. So I never understood the narrative. Oh, he had another deal on the table. Why? If UMG is this big bad snake that's doing all these sneaky moves behind you, and they're using Kendrick to devalue you, it don't make no sense. Just get up out of the game. If you already paid your debt back, well, he didn't pay it back. That's what people don't understand. So they was renegotiating the debt he already had, right? So at the end of the day, he claims that this whole thing was based on them trying to devalue him, and that's what the record did. So him saying he's up a billy, I don't know, Jim. I don't know, gang. It's a lot of things to point to that ain't actually accurate no more, right? He quit Stake a couple weeks ago because they didn't pay him his money back in time that he was supposed. When he gambles with these, this is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to gamble, then you turn in your account or whatever it is, your records of what you spent. Then they reimburse you. We found this out through him being on chat saying that the guy didn't reimburse him for that month because there was a discrepancy on it, right? So at the end of the day, we know that he's using his own money to gamble, then they reimburse him, right? This ain't nothing I'm making up. This is some shit he said. So at the end of the day, that's what's going on. Now, end of the day, you're saying that he's laughing at this, that, and the third. I don't know if he's laughing at what. He just set up a studio in a strip club. Right? So I think he's actually working on music. So I don't know what's going on. He's probably trying to get the vibe of what's going on in the strip club. That's how unsure this guy is about what to make. He's setting up a studio in a strip club, gang. He just did that this weekend. Now, some of you may think that's cool. I think that's strange. I think that's kind of weird. I'm just going to be honest. But I've been telling you for the last year and a half, he don't know what to do. This is why we got all these Iceman episodes. He doesn't know what kind of music to put out. Now he's setting up a studio in a strip club because he doesn't understand what's going on. They said he'd be at parties with headphones on writing. Right? I told you, he's scared to get the ghostwriters because he don't want no more reference tracks. So what's happening right now is we're seeing a guy still spiraling, still trying to figure things out. But Jim Jones thinks this is the guy with all the answers.
Who's the next person that's going to come provide the vibe?
We'll never get another person.
This is what I'm trying to say, bro.
I'm disappointed, though.
Yeah, he had. I agree 100%.
He did.
Now, you got to understand, and this is my guy, Conway. Conway don't even write music like this. He don't make music like this. He admits in this interview that he don't make this kind of music. So I think he feel like this is bigger than him, and he doesn't. This is out of his wheelhouse. So Drake is doing something very, very, like, it's super freaking amazing. So he's impressed by how he can make so much money and get so many people to vibe with it and get so many bitches to do this, that, and the third. And he's in everybody's car when he goes with. So he's impressed with this, right? And most rappers, let's just be honest, especially money-driven rappers, you're gonna bow down to, you're gonna pray to a god like Drake. Drake is your god. And if you're talking money, right? It used to be Jay-Z. Let's just be honest. It used to be Jay-Z. Then Drake came around slowly. Let's be honest. He usurped that power. He figured out a way to weasel his way in and kind of he can get Jay-Z fans and he can get Kanye fans at the same time. He can do all that by having them come. They gave him power by being, they co-signed him, gang. You got to understand what happened. So somebody like Conway looking at it like, yo, at this point, this guy been the man for about, honestly, top of this game with allegedly court. If you're looking at it from face value, it's about 7-8 years, right? He been in the thing for 15 years, but unchallenged. Like when DMX was still alive, this, that, and the third, Drake shit was challenged, right? Drake shit was challenged 7-8 years ago. He still had challenges. Still, let's be honest, A$AP Rocky was still out there, competition, and Wale, and it was a lot of people names still being thrown around. Let's just be honest. 8-9 years ago, he still was like he was in the top of the game, but they were still naming him with other rappers. Now let's just be honest. That's the reason that Big Three shit stuck, because by the time J. Cole was talking that Big Three shit, it really was them. Let's just be honest. If any one of them, if Kendrick dropped, if J. Cole dropped, or Drake dropped, they were bigger than anybody in the game. So at that point, he had moved everybody out the way. It wasn't even a question no more of you being honest with yourself. It was him. It was the only person competing with him was Cole or Kendrick. Let's just be honest, and that's just what it was. So this is at that point. This is what Conway is seeing, like a guy that dominated the game, dominated the scene, and it is what it is. So he's still looking at him like that. The battle did crush him. It affected him in a lot of ways. His ego, confidence. This is why the music ain't what it used to be. Also, 40 not making the music. It's just a lot going on. Let me continue, gang.
Nothing away from none of them, but the vibe is needed because we outside more than we battle rapping.
Yeah. Well, all I would say to that is, like, at the same time, though, bro.
So let me just say this, right? And it gets a little disrespectful, because this is what I would expect from street dudes, right? We outside more than we battle rapping. Well, this hip hop, gang. And I'm not saying, first of all, they not battle rapping. They had a battle, right? Kendrick dropped GNX. It's not a battle record. Right? This dude dropped some sexy songs for you. So he's like, we outside more than we battle rapping. You're trying to make it all about the battle. The dudes had a battle. The battle's over. The battle been over. The battle was over back in last May of 2024. The battle been over. So nobody's talking about that. We're not saying that music got to be all about battle rap, right? We just had another battle with Joey Badass, and that thing took off, and everybody in that was talking about that. That was one of the biggest things. The battles come because hip hop is still here. It still does what it does. But no, we're not going around playing battle records. That's not what the point is. The point is these guys had a real problem, a 10-year Cold War, right? And these dudes finally settled their problem on wax. It happened. It was a big event, right? We're not saying we want battles every day. Everybody want to battle. No, we're not trying to get battles all the time. We actually got battle fatigue. I said that. I said that with the Joey Badass one, right? When Daylight dropped that last record, I said, all right. I said it on video. Go back and look. I said, I think I'm done. I think I got enough battle records, this and that. Even Kendrick told Ray Vaughn, listen, the battles Cook stopped battling when Ray Vaughn was battling Joey Badass. So it's not that we sitting around all day wanting battle records, right? But he's trying to equate that to that because he's trying to belittle the whole battle. He's trying to make it like that shit is not that, it ain't as dope as you think it is. We don't really need that. The real world don't spin around that. You're right, it don't spin around that. But those moments are huge. We'll never forget them, and somebody will lose. Now the simple fact is, when he lost, the way he handled it is the problem. Had he handled it the same way he handled the Pusha T issue, it wouldn't be this serious. But we went months and months of him subbing and liking shit that was subbing and putting and sicking these goons out here with all these attack drones and shit all over Twitter, this, that, and the third. And then he did a lawsuit. He did a petition first, and then he did a lawsuit. So we had a whole fucking, it was dragged on and on and on. And they try to make it like us. You guys are dragging the battle. You sure this motherfucker got a whole lawyer team? He's going to court. We hear about this shit every fucking morning we wake up. So no, are we dragging it or is he dragging it? So the simple fact, Jimmy, no, it ain't that we want battle records every day. The battle happened, and this guy won't let us move on.
Bro, we can't just because that'll do away with niggas like me. Niggas like, other niggas, bro. Cause
I'm not mad.
I'm not the vibe. We can go anywhere in New York right now. They ain't playing. I would love them to, but I don't make that. If they did, then I did something.
See, and I like that it's awareness, gang. He understands. I don't even do this kind of music, but I'm still eating, right? But at the end of the day, they're not bumping me. I'm not the vibe, but I don't want to be. He's making music that he wants to make, that hip hop wants him to make. He's making hip hop driven music. Anybody could try to make vibe music, this, that, and the third, but at the end of the day, if that's not in your heart and your spirit, right? So that's what Conway's acknowledging. Like, listen, we're not going to sit here and make it like Kendrick got to be the vibe, and Kendrick got some records that are bumping them clubs too, gang. So let's just keep it a buck. He got some really big records too. I don't know why we keep saying this narrative that this guy can't be pumped here, pumped there. It's a lot of records too, right? But it's also it's like Michael Jackson versus Prince, right? Prince got more records they're gonna hit you in a different way. It ain't for dancing and this, that, and the third, but they both are the equivalent. People like them both, and that's the thing we gotta understand.
I'm not the vibe.
I broke a
I'm
record.
not the vibe neither. So
like,
you heard?
We can't equate that to
we need the vibes
that's the barometer for how we're going to measure if the nigga is that or not.
That's not the parameter.
It's nice, bro.
That's not the. I did not say Kendrick is. This is not about Kendrick not being nice.
So what Jimmy keeps trying to allude to, and like I said, I'm gonna be respectful, but what Jimmy keeps trying to allude to is, I get it that this dude can rap, But when we not rapping, what we supposed to do? We supposed to just sit around and wait for Kendrick to make these rapidy rap records? Well, that's not how this works. I go out every night. Me and the guys get up, we get together, and we go hang out, we party, we do this, and that, and the third. We throw ones, we smoke hookah, whatever we doing, we drinking, we taking shots or whatever, and we trying to have a vibe. And by you guys still tripping off this battle, you're messing up our vibe. Well, guess what? I'm sure that those places are still open right now tonight. When you get dressed up in your fatigues and your Timbs, this is gonna be somewhere to go.
It's not about Kendrick not being nice, and we are from the East Coast, you know, so it is a little bit different. I will not say you go anywhere in the West Coast, they is slapping the shit out of Kendrick music, slapping that shit hard.
I get it, man, and I understand what he's trying to say, yo, the West Coast, his music is made for the West Coast, so they be bumping it, but that's just getting, you don't get, do y'all know that the GNX just went triple platinum? I don't know if y'all know that. It's still selling every day. It's out selling stuff that's just dropping right now. It's still selling. So it ain't that the West Coast is bumping that shit. These are all narratives that are very surface level.
But for the vibe that I know on over here, you heard down south, Midwest, East Coast, is a lot of Drizzy missing.
They on that Drizzy game,
man. And that's why I was saying.
But Drizzy. This nigga still alive? Did he pass away or something? Like, I don't understand what's going on. This guy's still here. He could be giving you you could have easily been like, yo, I need this video is blaming Kendrick. It's literally blaming Kendrick for the fall of Drake instead of Drake just making some good music. They're not addressing that. This whole thing is really saying, if it wasn't for that little motherfucker from Compton, we would be getting some bangers right now. It ain't his fault, gang. It ain't his fault. I don't understand the narrative of this. They're making it like it would be slapping in the club if it wasn't for this guy, if it wasn't for this dastardly battle.
Saying they need me in the locker room like Coach Prime, like Drizzy. You nigga, what was we do? Go crazy, Drizzy.
And Conway think he can just coach him up, bro. He don't have the confidence that he needs anymore. You can't just coach Prime him, gang. You can't just coach him up. It ain't that simple. It's a lot going on. Dude hurt from the heart. You saw him in that damn ice truck. Driving around the city by himself, playing his own beats, right? This dude's hurt. This nigga in the freezer doing dances that he making up as he moving. This dude he don't trust nobody, so you can't just coach him up. It ain't that simple.
Oh,
crazy.
Man. Nah, man. Shouts to Drizzy. Shouts to Kendrick, man. They definitely gave
niggas, man.
the people what they wanted to see, and
I loved it.
Nobody ended up getting hurt from it, from what I could see.
We needed that, bro. We needed that, bro.
Friction is always needed.
Spark in our
shit needs to be shaken up. I can't say that. Bro. Sometimes shit got to be shaken up. That's what it is. You heard? I'm sad it had to be.
Look at all the
you know what I mean? But
shit came from that shit. Look at all the dope music that came.
There was a lot of dope opportunities that came from that. Both sides. There's a lot of things that came for that. Shouts to the whole West Coast, one of my favorite places. You know, that's where I started my career at, in the West Coast. And speaking about starting my career,
I ended up co-hosting a show with Jones too. I'm just manifesting that sidebar, y'all. We'll go ahead.
So listen, man, I don't think I exaggerated when I told you these dudes was really, really, listen, they want your boy back, but they don't understand the dynamics. He ain't gone nowhere. He's still here. He's still making music, gang. I don't understand what's going on. Now, let's see what they say when this Iceman drop. Let's see how serious they are when this thing come out. Let's see if they supporting it like this, because they making it like the whole world needs to really get behind this guy, right? But he got to actually make music that people want to get behind, gang. That's the only problem that they're not discussing. Salute to Conway. Salute to Jim Jones. It's a good episode. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to sit down and watch the whole thing at some point, right? I appreciate what they're doing for the culture, and they did well together. But at the end of the day, I feel like this narrative, this narrative continues like somehow this is Kendrick's fault that you guys ain't getting the proper music for the strip clubs. It's a lot of guys making music. It don't just revolve around this guy. And guess what? Even when Iceman drop, it ain't gonna be a whole lot of shit on there for the strip clubs anyway. Right? Let's just be honest. It ain't gonna be a whole album. It ain't gonna be Views Part 2 with a whole lot of this and that. It probably be a lot of explaining, a lot of shaky shit, a lot of retro shit, trying to rewrite history and call people out that wasn't there. Like, Dad, he wasn't there. It's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be some pain music a little bit, but it's not gonna be. It's gonna be surface level pain. Just trying to get pity party shit. In my opinion, this is my assessment of what Iceman gonna sound like. It's gonna probably be disconjointed, and it's probably gonna have just random shit just coming behind each other, because I don't think they got the secret sauce no more over there. I think it's really jacked up. I think a lot of the guys that were responsible for that secret sauce is out in the wind, gang. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Listen, Conway's my guy, gang. I really, this kind of surprising, but it's really not surprising, because I'm starting to learn when I talk to a real in the street dude, they really not like I'm not talking about hip hop heads that's all on lyrical shit. I'm talking about dudes that's in the street shaking and baking, doing this, that, and the third. They looking at the game differently, gang. And a lot of these guys have this opinion. They feel like, yeah, bro lost, but if he would have did this, that, and the third, he would have won easily, and we need him back. I'm telling you right now, they don't look at this thing as that. This thing is as one-sided as it is. They just think his approach, he made a couple mistakes, but he actually could have won and should have won. So I'm going to leave it at that, man. CLBMG, I'm out of here, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live on The What Show. Me, TJ, and Fliz. Tap in. And we got a new video called This That off the What Project, man. Head back in my videos about 3-4 weeks ago. Look at that video. Hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. I'm out of here. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. With pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking. And all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like past fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.